How does the Korean standard of beauty differ from that of North America? And are there any things that North Americans do that South Koreans would find strange and vice versa?
Okay, I think that North American and Korean beauty standards are totally different in the sense that North America doesn't really have like a beauty standard. It kind of like changes depending on the person themselves, right?
So yeah, you could like redheads, or you could like freckles, or you could like bodybuilders, or you could like skinny people, or you could like girls who are curvy, or girls who just have big butts, and you cannot lie.
Okay, all right, don't start, mister.
One other brothers can't deny.
Oh boy.
Girl walks in with a little bitty waist and then the basic get sprung like a baseball bat. And that's the only part of the sign that I know.
A simple example, I was teaching my students about face shapes like square jaw or like V shape or like diamond, heart, round, oval. And my students would be like, well, teacher, which one is the ideal face shape? And I'm like, what do you mean like ideal? They're like, well, what's the one that everyone wants? Like, what's the best one? Like, well, there isn't a best one.
There is no perfect face.
Right, and then they're like, well, what celebrity has the best face? Like, which celebrity would be the ideal person that you look up to? And I'm like, what? Like, we don't really have an idea, right?
I can't think of that, no.
Yeah, like you might like a square jawbone on Brad Pitt, but you may not like that. You might like some guy who has a round face. So it seems to us that like Korea sticks to kind of like one idea of what is ideal.
That you could aspire to.
Yeah, and they have like different points to be like, if you can do these things and if you look this way, then you're kind of an ideal, beautiful person.
So we noticed some common traits in these perfect faces. Number one, it really has to do with eyes. So like big eyes and like double eyelids, like that kind of like doll face eye look is really ideal here.
And you can get surgery to have it done. You can have your eyes widened or you can have the double eyelids done as well. But we don't want to go into surgery in this video.
It's a totally different topic.
Totally different topic.
In comparison to North America, I don't think that this is something that people really think about. Like I never really noticed a double eyelid on somebody, while here it seems to be a big deal. I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with it here, just not anything that North Americans really pay attention to a lot.
Yeah, I think one beauty standard that definitely horrifies Koreans from North America would be tanning.
Oh boy.
Yeah, not just North America, like people in Europe tan all the time, like on the beaches and stuff.
I know, but like getting tans like at the beach or going to tanning salons,
Tanning oil.
or like tanning lotion, it's just like I don't think that really translates well over into Korean culture.
No.
They kind of try to do their best to not tan.
Covering up with those long sleeves.
And the
huge
visors
hats.
so that you don't have any darkening of the skin whatsoever. In fact, we noticed that with some of our students, like even in the classroom, if there was one student who was a little bit darker than everybody else, but by no means dark according to our standards, like other students would like make fun of them and be like, ha, teacher, look, that's Obama. And then we have to change the lesson into something different, like how not to get your ass kicked in North America.
Oh, culturally insensitive Korea. Sometimes you make us lol.
You really gotta work on that.
So another Korean beauty standard that definitely doesn't translate into North America is the concept of having like a big or small face.
Yeah.
It seems that like a lot of foreigners have experienced this when they start teaching. Your students would be like, teacher, your face is so small. And they do like the fist-sized face. And I'm like,
Your fist is small, I'm gonna punch it.
I'm gonna punch it. And I'm like, I don't really think my face is small or big. It's just like
It's a face.
But when we take pictures together, my students will cover their jawbone area. Like they'll do this or they'll do this.
So whenever you see them doing kimchi, it's not because they're trying to be cute, it's because they're trying to hide the size of their face,
this
which
one.
supposedly, according to them, is big. And
Yeah.
we don't notice that at all.
So the area they supposedly think is big is this area here. Like they think that it's like wider, and they think that like high cheekbones or like those cute, you know, those like pillowy things that you're like, you're so cute, like those things. Supposedly that's not good.
But we've never really noticed big faces on Korean people. It's not like I looked at the person like, oh wow, your face is so
Your
big.
face is so big.
You just have a face.
Yeah, but I think this gets into our next point about V-line. So V-line is very closely tied with like face size. So basically V-line is this area here. So if you have like a V-style face, it's considered to be very beautiful. And a lot of Korean advertisements will show people being like, oh, drink this, you know, green tea beverage and you'll get a V-line. And they'll like hold it up like this to show the V shape.
Which is why sometimes you see those like chin rollers as well, because they'll try to make you have like a more V of a face by pushing it with this
Exactly.
awkward motion right here.
Oh boy, Simon.
I'm just showing you what it does!
I know, it's true. It's a face roller. It rolls your face.
So I'll tell you what we find really interesting. These standards of beauty can apply to both men and women.
Yeah, you might have thought we were just talking about women with like the V-line and the pale skin, but we're not. It can be totally Korean men or Korean women.
While in North America, there seem to be different standards for what's a beautiful guy and what's a beautiful girl, while here the mold seems to be similar.
Kind of like, can you say like monosexual or like...
Or uber sexual.
Oh, I like that.
Because I'm naughty. So that's it for this week's TLDR. If there's a question you want us to answer for next week's TLDR, leave your question in the Google Moderator page.
Or check out the questions already asked and you can vote them up or vote them down.
And don't forget to subscribe for more TLDRs. Do it for the Spudgy.
Spudgy's like, guys, I am beautiful no matter what you say. Good for you, Spudgy.
How many things did you hump in this video, big guy?